of the Hooksett Police Department and also the concerns of the Hooksett citizens.
I'd like to second that.
Second by Councilor Levesque. Any discussion from the council?
So I guess I'm just curious, because I thought we were moving into the budget, how much discussion we're planning to have on this tonight, because I think it calls for either, I would say at least a good 15-20 minute discussion amongst counselors. So I certainly do want to address the question as shown by my statement before. I just want to, I guess, ask the chair's favor.
Well, I mean, I'm going to try to control the discussion to, reasonable time, but I don't want to cut any discussion off that's important. So I was asked by Councilor Limbaugh, as a lot of you asked me, if we could be placed on the agenda, and if you have a motion, so I granted him that. And I didn't realize that you were going to bring that up under old business. I think I'll kind of gauge it by what the council's will is. And if we want to have a discussion here or start a discussion here tonight, that's fine. If it needs to be carried over, then we'd have to have a...
Then if I could continue with my statement.
Sure.
I'd like to lead it off by my notes are locked up, and so that's why I don't have all of my notes with me today. So I think it's been suggested that either the town council should order the audit or the police commission should order the audit. And because we are in budget time, I think it is important to clarify who should be ordering it, and then certainly who should be paying for the audit. I go through this notes way too much. In addition to that, I don't know how big or small of an audit is appropriate at this time. I don't even know what an audit involves, so I definitely need more information before I could make any kind of decision. Thank you.
Welcome. Councilor Pistola.
I really don't understand the motion. Exactly what are we ordering? Are we going to do an audit on the police commissioners? Or are we doing an audit on the police department? Or are we doing an audit on the police chief? Or are we doing an audit on all three? And who's going to do that audit, and what are they looking for? And is it within our power to do it?
Mr. Chairman, can I speak to my motion?
Sure.
Okay. It was requested and supported by all parties at the workshop between the police commission and the town council that an independent audit be done on the police department. Some called for an outside independent audit. One commissioner suggested it be done by the council under the town charter, Article 3, Section 3.13, which would not cost taxpayers any funds. After considering which way it should be, in my opinion, that 2 or 3 member committee staffed by possibly councilors and the town administrator to take on the charge if voted to approve the motion to look at what is going on at the police department. Not only is the legal fees and the lawsuits causing undue financial stress on the town of the Hooksett, it's getting very poor press in the papers and on Channel 9 News. We as a community are trying to attract new business and more families as a sense that Hooksett is a good place to live. If we can identify and make suggestions as a council to help solve some of the conflicts festering at the police commission and the police department, then they can move forward and show that we can come together as a community. So I'm suggesting that the chair maybe put 2 or 3 councilors, whoever he wants, on that committee to look into what's going on over there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have authority over that police commission or the police department, so no matter what we find, we cannot impose our will upon them. Am I right or wrong?
We're according to the RSA, there is a separation.
Right, and so I think, Mr. Limbaugh, if you want to take that motion, I think you should take that motion up to the Attorney General's office, present it to them with the support or not the support of the council and have them look into it.
Mr. Chairman? If you listen to what I was reading, Counselor, I'm asking the council to make suggestions to the police commission, not tell them what to do. I'm not saying tell the commissioner what to do. But somebody, an outside source, could look at the situation over there and try to give some suggestions of what could be done.
I don't think we have the authority to do that. I think the only one that has authority to do that is the Attorney General's office.
If we did move forward with the motion, that would be something we'd want to investigate ahead of time, whether we do have any type of...
I think what was requested was to have a group, whoever's in that group, look into various aspects in the department commission, and based on any findings, then provide information to whether it be the commission. If it was something that was of a nature that should go to the Attorney General, they could bring it to the Attorney General. But I don't think it was that group was going to take any action or had any authority in that regard. It was just, I believe from what this is in the charter, that group, the council could designate a group to look into something and then report back information, and then if anything needed to be addressed, they wouldn't be addressing it. It would be providing information to whomever could. I believe that's what you were.
If I may,
Yeah.
I don't think that you can ask anyone a question down there, and if they refuse to answer a question, that we have any authority to make them talk, give an answer.
You're correct.
So it's actually, if I was going to be investigated by a panel of councilmen and other people, I wouldn't probably want to answer any questions. If I was a chief or I was a lieutenant or if I was anyone, I would probably not want to answer any questions. So it seems like it's in limbo. It's something that should just go up to the Attorney General's office and have them investigate it because they have the authority to do that. Just my own thought process.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Right.
Council.
Last meeting, under Mr. Limbo, told everybody, let's sit back and wait. The police commission that we just appointed, he's been on it, 4 months? And I think that the police commission we got in place now, the majority of it, will probably work to straighten this mess up on their own. I don't think they need push from this council or anybody else.
Thank you. Anyone else?
If I could ask for just clarification on the motion.
Sure.
You mentioned the section of the charter that Police Commissioner Roy had.
Use your mic, please.
I'm sorry. You mentioned the section of the charter that Police Commissioner Roy, could you give me that number again?
Under Article 3, Section 3.13.
That's what I thought, thank you.
Do we have copies of that so we can read it?
Everyone
It's
should
in the
receive a
charter.
copy.
Yes.
And section 3.13 is in the charter.
And then in addition to that, I just wanted to clarify, you believe it should be 3 counselors.
Sorry, yeah.
Your motion is that a gathering of counselors, I guess less than majority of counselors, be appointed. I'm just asking for clarification.
Yes.
This is what you're saying. Be appointed to go and look at the police department and the police commission
Yes.
and make recommendations back to the full council
So,
on recommendations that we would then make to the police commission.
right.
Thank you.
What exactly were we going to look at? Are we going to look at personnel records? Are we going to look at statements? What are we going to be looking at?
Well, that would be, if this motion passes, whoever is involved in the committee
Yeah.
could decide what they want to look at to try to get a handle on, making suggestions to the police department and the police commission.
Is that panel going to go into personnel files? And
No, why should it go into personnel files?
Okay, find out why people left?
If they decided to do that, yes, but I don't know.
I don't think...
I'm just trying to find some way to get the police department going in the straight.
But that's the job of the police commission is.
But it seems to be getting worse.
Council Levesque.
Carol, we have a version here of 2009, but I think the one we were looking at today was 2010.
2010.
And that 2010, that Article 3.13 is a lot different. And it kind of spells out that the town council can investigate.
Yeah, I don't know what version you're looking
We have
at.
2009, so,
Yeah,
and if everybody's
2010.
looking at 2009, it doesn't really say what 2010 says.
I can read it if it's different. That section is the council by majority vote may require of any appointed town official, department head, or employee, official appointed or confirmed by council, or member of an appointed town board or commission to appear before it and give such information as it may require in relation to this office, its function and performance. The council shall give at least 48-hour written notice of the general scope of the inquiry, which is to be made for any person that shall require to appear before it under this section. I think this is a section following that it's referring to. The council may make investigation into the affairs of the town and into the conduct of any town agency or department, and for this purpose may administer oaths and require the production of evidence.
But the word commission is in that statement,
Yes.
where this one does not mention. Oh, yeah, it does mention Elm Commission.
Yeah, so this covers currently any group.
Anyone else? We do have a motion on the table. Has everybody had a chance to speak to it that wants to speak to it?
I'd like to speak again.
Okay.
I think it is a commendable idea. I certainly see flaws in it. I certainly, first and foremost, we can't even get a counselor to volunteer for a 2-hour, once-a-month meeting for the Conservation Commission. I have no idea how much time this would take. So I certainly question who on the town council is going to do this. When we start looking at that group or the members assigned to that group, I certainly have to question their skill level to go in and do an evaluation of a police department or in specifically a police department. I don't think any of us are subject matter experts. I'd like to see it work. I just don't necessarily know if 3.13 gives us the permission to go in and investigate the police department, because going back to the initial discussion with the police commission, do they fall under the administrative code in the town as a department? And they seem to, and we seem to have the right under the charter of them being a department. And if that's true, then they should also fall under the administrative code, and I believe they do. But if we're supposed to be separate from them, I think the decision first has to be made how we're not separated from them, what control we do have over them, before making a decision to move forward. I guess in some ways, I'd like to move the question just so that I have to make up my mind.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question that a little off topic, but I think somewhat relevant. When the town hires hires a police chief, Who does the hiring?
Commissioner.
It's the commissioners, it's not the council.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just to move this along, I will table my motion and give the administrator a chance to look in and see if this even can be done. And we can get on with the budget.
Would you be willing to amend your motion and replace the word audit with investigation and inquiries? Which I believe is referenced in chapter 3:13 of your town charter, rather than audit?
I would.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, looking around this board here, I think probably the only person that's qualified to do an investigation is probably me. And I certainly don't want to be the only person doing an investigation. Has anyone here ever investigated anything? Maybe Danny has. I'm not sure. But you know what an investigation is? You're asking serious questions. And you have to go find serious facts out to back up the answers in your investigation. Has anyone here ever done an investigation? Has any? Well, then, James, you're probably the only one here outside of me. So maybe you and I should be on that committee.
Well, maybe not. Maybe it should be people who have never conducted one.
If you need a plumber, James, if you need a plumber, don't call an electrician.
If he's got good electrician tape, it'll work.
Well, you,
I will table my motion and let the administrator, I guess, gather some facts to see if we can even do this, if that's acceptable to everybody.
If I could ask the town administrator, I guess, I still don't understand the scope of what would be looked at, and I don't know who to ask, but there has to be some kind of scope. Is that something that once the people get together, they'll make the determination? There has to be a scope, there has to be an expected outcome. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order. Councilor Van Scoy called the question. Can we call the question and have the vote, please?
Okay.
okay. We're going to vote on the motion that's here. Okay?
The motion or not to table it? Or?
Nope, we have to vote on it because she called the question before the table. All right? Let's do a roll call. Okay.
Council Paradise.
Nay.
Council Piscatolo.
Nay.
Council Van Scoy.
Nay.
Council Booton.
No.
Council Gorton.
Nay.
Council Limbo. Yes. Council Levesque.
Aye.
Council Longfellow.
Nay.
Council Chairman Gahava.
Nay.
Fails.